The drug cartels are waging war in America, and it's now time for America to wage war on the cartels.
The war against organized crime has taken a dramatic turn as former President Donald Trump officially declares war on El Mencho and his ruthless CJNG Cartel. Known as one of the most violent and powerful criminal organizations in the world, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel has turned parts of Texas into a war zone, spreading fear, violence, and chaos. This shocking announcement signals a bold escalation in the fight against drug cartels, with Trump vowing to bring the full weight of the U.S. government against these criminals. Why does this matter? The CJNG, under El Mencho's leadership, has established a notorious reputation for brutal tactics and widespread influence, threatening the safety of both American and Mexican communities. Trump's declaration is not just a political move, it's a call to action in a battle that could reshape border security and America's war on drugs. The stakes have never been higher. El Mencho, born Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, is one of the most feared and elusive drug lords in the world. As the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, he has built a criminal empire known for its brutal violence and global reach. The CJNG emerged in the early 2000s and 10s, quickly rising to power after the fragmentation of larger cartels like the Sinaloa Cartel. Through strategic alliances, unrelenting aggression, and sophisticated operations, the CJNG established itself as a dominant force in Mexico's drug trade. Specializing in methamphetamine, heroin, and fentanyl production, the cartel has become a primary supplier of illicit drugs to the United States. Their operations extend far beyond trafficking, including extortion, kidnapping, and assassination. In recent years, the CJNG has aggressively expanded into Texas, turning cities and towns into hubs for their activities. The cartel's presence in the U.S. has brought a wave of violence, with deadly shootouts, gruesome murders, and large-scale drug busts. The CJNG's infiltration into Texas has turned parts of the state into hotspots for violence and drug-related crimes. Leveraging the state's proximity to the Mexican border, the cartel has established a vast network to smuggle drugs, launder money, and extend its violent operations into American territory. Their reach is not limited to border towns. Major cities like Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio have become key hubs for CJNG's criminal activities. Real-life incidents underscore the gravity of their impact. In 2022, federal agents intercepted a CJNG shipment containing hundreds of pounds of fentanyl, a drug responsible for thousands of overdose deaths in the U.S. Gruesome killings and brazen shootouts linked to the cartel have left Texas communities living in fear. In one chilling case, the cartel used Texas as a staging ground for human trafficking and enforced its dominance through intimidation and assassination. The term war zone is no exaggeration. Law enforcement agencies face an uphill battle, with CJNG employing advanced weaponry, encrypted communications, and military-style tactics. The cartel's brutality knows no bounds. Their acts of violence, including public executions and mass graves, are meant to instill fear and control territories. Donald Trump has long emphasized the need to combat drug cartels, making it a cornerstone of his border and national security policies during his presidency. Known for his tough stance on organized crime, Trump implemented measures such as the Remain in Mexico policy and increased Border Patrol funding to curb drug trafficking. His administration also designated certain cartels, including CJNG, as top threats to U.S. security, prioritizing their dismantlement. Recently, Trump has escalated his rhetoric and actions against the CJNG and its leader, El Mencho. In a bold move, Trump officially declared war on the cartel, vowing to bring the full might of the U.S. military and intelligence agencies to dismantle their operations. This declaration underscores the seriousness of the threat posed by CJNG, whose violent tactics and drug trafficking have devastated communities in both Mexico and the United States, particularly Texas. Trump's statements have been unflinching. "We will not allow cartels like the CJNG to terrorize our streets," he declared during a press conference. He pledged enhanced military support at the border, ramped up intelligence operations, and increased cooperation with Mexican authorities to neutralize the cartel's influence. His administration also proposed labeling cartels as terrorist organizations, which would open the door for broader military interventions and stricter sanctions on individuals and entities linked to CJNG. The presence of the CJNG in Texas has led to a surge in violent incidents, with the cartel's ruthless tactics spreading fear across several communities. In 2021, a massive shootout in Laredo, Texas, involved CJNG members firing on law enforcement, leading to a standoff that lasted several hours. This confrontation resulted in multiple arrests and the seizure of a significant amount of drugs, but it also highlighted the cartel's readiness to engage in violent warfare with authorities. Additionally, cartel members have been linked to a series of grisly murders, with victims often found brutally executed in public places as a display of power and intimidation. Local communities are caught in the crossfire. Neighborhoods in cities like Houston and San Antonio have witnessed a rise in drug-related crimes, with cartel operations frequently triggering violence in otherwise peaceful areas. Fear runs rampant as citizens worry about the safety of their families and homes. Many residents report that they no longer feel safe walking in certain neighborhoods, knowing that drug deals and cartel violence are commonplace. For law enforcement, the situation has become a crisis. Local police, already stretched thin, find themselves battling a cartel with nearly unlimited resources and a willingness to use extreme violence. They face constant threats, and several officers have been wounded or killed in cartel-related incidents. To combat the CJNG, Trump and the U.S. government are implementing a multi-pronged strategy focused on disrupting the cartel's operations. This includes strengthening border security, increasing intelligence sharing with Mexican authorities, and targeting cartel finances. The U.S. is also ramping up efforts to apprehend key CJNG leaders, including El Mencho, by offering rewards for information that leads to their capture. Furthermore, Trump's administration is pushing for tougher sanctions and for cartels like the CJNG to be designated as Foreign Terrorist Organizations (FTOs), which would allow for military action and more severe legal measures against those involved. However, tackling a cartel with deep roots in both Mexico and the U.S. is not without its challenges. The CJNG has vast financial resources, sophisticated smuggling networks, and a willingness to resort to extreme violence, making them a formidable adversary. Additionally, corruption within local law enforcement agencies in Mexico complicates cooperation, as the cartel's influence extends into various sectors of society. Possible outcomes and public reactions. If the U.S. successfully takes down the CJNG, it could lead to a significant reduction in drug-related violence, particularly in border states like Texas. However, experts caution that dismantling one cartel might just create a power vacuum, potentially leading to the rise of another. Public reaction has been mixed. While many applaud Trump's decisive stance, others worry about escalating violence and potential retaliation by the cartel. Some fear that further military intervention could fuel an even larger crisis along the border. What do you think? Is Trump's bold move the right step in combating the CJNG? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this critical issue.